But who better than me?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Base Talks. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It's appreciated. Now, I've spoken to him a couple times previously, but I've got the big man on the channel finally. Big Frank Warren, Mr. Queensbury himself, and we had a pretty interesting conversation. I would have really enjoyed another sort of 5 minutes to get into the crux of some things, maybe delve a bit deeper into a couple other answers and questions and stuff, but overall it was a great exchange. Please have a look. We'll talk about it at the end. This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual, and I am delighted to once again be joined by Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren. Frank, first of all, how are you?
I'm good. I'm pleased we're here today announcing such a fabulous card up in the Midlands. Yet another one of our concept shows, the Magnificent Seven. I think this will probably be the best one.
Now, Magnificent Seven, it came back, it made its appearance last year. It was so good, you did it again. They rode again, and clearly it's a great concept. Everyone loves it. What do you think it is about the Magnificent Seven concept that really gets the British public involved?
Because they're real competitive fights against fighters of various stages of their careers. Some of the best, some of the young guys coming through. All of them have something to prove, and the atmosphere is always fabulous. And we will sell this out. This will be sold out based off of the last one.
Now, I've never heard anyone really have anything negative to say about these cards, apart from potentially the main events might start a bit too late. Is there any provisions in place to maybe try and bring that main event forward at all?
I don't understand what you mean.
Because I've heard some people say that the main event starts is almost 12 o'clock sometimes when they start. So
fights go the distance. What you do, the only way I can bring something forward, I have to say, jump in the middle of the ring, say, right, that's enough, boys, we've got to about the main event. That's what it is. This is boxing. Who knows how these fights are going to end? If you do know, go and get your money on it at the bookmakers. You'll win a few quid.
What's your favourite fight on this? Because we could talk about this card from top to bottom. What's your most intriguing fight on this card?
I think most of them are, because they're important fights for every boxer on there. That's why the fights were made, because there's jeopardy for the loser. So, and for both of them going into the fight, but certainly for the loser. You know, I love the rematch between Nathan. I think Nathan and Brad is a cracking fight. The first one was a contender for Fight of the Year. It set the place alight. The atmosphere was great because of the support that both the boxers have, especially Nathan, because, you know, he's probably one of the biggest ticket sellers, if not the biggest ticket seller in the country. And to watch that fight again, if it's half as good as last time, I'll be delighted. And then you look at the joint main event with that, which is Liam and Shabazz, and that fight is a cracker. I mean, an absolute cracker, both undefeated. Liam, since he's been with us, has won the British, Commonwealth, European IBO title. And for everybody out there to know that Inui holds the other 4 belts, he's probably one of the best, if not the best fighter in the world. That is that's a feat for him. He's got better and better and better in every fight. He's one of the best, most improved and best fighters in the world. And in with Shabazz, they have history. I weren't quite too sure how bad that was, but they have history that he's beaten him twice as an amateur. But this is not amateur, these are professional gloves they're wearing. They won't be wearing head guards, and I'm really looking forward to it. And standing in between them at the face-off and listening to them both, I'm telling you, it's going to be a cracker.
Well, look, speaking of Liam Davis and Shabazz Massoud, this is another Queensbury Cross Matchroom promotion.
We're working with Matchroom on this, so me and my bestie, we're doing the business and delivering for the fans.
You are, and speaking of that, taking it away from that very briefly before I pull it back, you just went 1-0 up over the weekend, over Eddie Hearn with Anthony Cacace, over Joe Cordina. I mean, for you personally, with the 5v5 about to take place next week, how did that feel?
Well, it felt good. I mean, any of my fighters fighting, I want them to win. And the Cacace fight, Anto done such a brilliant job in that fight. I mean, it was, you know, he was an underdog in there, but he fought like he was odds-on favourite. And Joe Cordina is a very, very good fighter, and I take my hat off to him, you know, and what he's done in the past. But it was Anto's night. The 3rd round, he knocked him down. The 8th round, it was stopped, and he was bossing it most of the fight. I mean, you were looking at the fight, you would have thought he was the favourite to win it, and he done a brilliant job. and showed what he's all about. He's had a sort of little stop-start situation with his career where he's pulled out a few fights or he's not fought as regularly, but he showed when he's in a training camp and trains correctly and properly what he's capable of, and he's Northern Ireland's hero, Britain's hero, and I'm looking forward to seeing him defending the title soon.
Back to Magnificent Seven very briefly. Sol Dacus and David Adilier. David wasn't here today at the press conference. Sol seemed a bit perturbed by that. He says it's the second time he's been somewhere and David hasn't been. Were you a little bit disappointed he wasn't able to make it?
Should be here. It's his job. He's a boxer. That's what it's all about. It's a press conference. It's how we sell fights. It's how we pay you guys. You don't show up. You know, what's it all about? You should be here. And the bottom line of all of it is, you've got to be there on the night, and it's a good fight. It's a good heavyweight fight. You know, lots going to happen over the next couple of years. You're going to get guys, certainly at the older heavyweights. A lot of them are going to be retiring, and these new kids on the block. And we're always very strong in Britain in the heavyweight division. They're going to come through, and the winner of this will be in a position where he will be moving forward, hopefully in bigger and better fights, to try and establish his credentials to fight for a big title.
Frank, quick word on Moses Atama and his brilliant performance over Ilya Masenchev. Did you see it going that quickly, or did you think he'd actually get some rounds in that fight?
I was trying to get rounds in, but the guy he fought was 23-1. He had a lot of experience. That was his ninth fight, going into his ninth fight. He'd done a fabulous job, and his hand speed's tremendous. The problem we have is that if he catches them, they're going to go. It doesn't matter who they are. But there's going to come a time where, like they do for all fighters, where they don't go, and you've got to get back to your boxing. So he needs to get that experience, and it's our job to try and find somebody who maybe will withstand the power that he's got.
Very last one from me, Frank. Big main event on the weekend just gone, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. Have you had a chance to watch it back in terms of the way you scored it at ringside compared to on TV?
Yeah, I just don't think there was a lot in the fight. I can see how you score it either way, or even a draw. It's not how I expected it to pan out, because I generally felt Tyson would stop him, and I think he was close to doing that in the sixth round when he caught him with them great uppercuts. And anyway, it is what it is. But it was a great fight, two warriors in an epic fight, the best heavyweight fight of the 21st century. 4 belts on the line. We now have a unified champion, and we have a rematch. And they'll dance again, and I think it'll be even bigger next time.
And quickly, just with regards to obviously the TalkSport conversation with you and Simon Jordan yesterday, a question I want to ask is, obviously we know that Tyson has a condition which is, very well spoken about, everyone knows about it. Do you think that maybe there should be some kind of middle ground to sometimes protecting him from doing interviews and stuff, so that these situations where people get upset by things he says don't occur?
Look, it's not everything he said. It's a very rare occasion, something said. And if you are going to say that this guy said this guy said that, you should. All I was saying, he's bipolar. That's the situation. Go on the NHS website. Look what the symptoms are and what people who have bipolar has done. Bipolar is the new name for manic depressive, suicidal thoughts. Loads of different things in there, and he's been there and he's done all those things, and don't judge. You can't judge him on that. I don't. Sometimes he said maybe a couple of things over the years that I've sort of I wish he never said that, but I know it's in his head. I mean, and I don't mean this, but I might want to stand here and thinking this fella's a twat. But if I had bipolar, I'd say you're a twat. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. But the facts of the matter is, you have to take that into consideration. And some of these feature writers were savage the weekend. This fella bared everything. He gave everything in the ring. Both of those fighters give everything in the ring. It takes two to make a great fight, not one. It was an epic battle between two gladiators, and Tyson was one of those gladiators. And his recuperative powers after that ninth round, you should be giving him accolades for that. I mean, I find it demeaning. Like one writer, that makes it, he's now can't be considered one of the greatest. Well, hang on a minute. Muhammad Ali got beat 5 times. He got beat by a guy who had 8 fights in Leon Spinks. Lennox Lewis lost 2 fights. Oliver McCall, Ruckman. He had 2 fights. great fights against Evander Holyfield, who come up from cruiserweight. Fag paper in that decision, who the fight. Everybody had an opinion on it. Some thought Evander won, some thought that Lennox won. And Lennox is one of the greats. And so is Evander. And so is Usyk. And so is Tyson.
Frank, I could speak to you all day. I would love to get a sit down at some point, but I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And all the best for the show coming up.
You're welcome, young man.
So as you can see, Big Frank stands on business. Whatever he believes, he will back to the hilt, or at least if it's one of his, one of his heavily invested stars, he will, defend them with all manners of vim and vigor that he can. So look, it was a good exchange. I'm gonna reach out to some of the team to see if I can actually get a Zoom interview with Frank at some point, especially while I won't be able to go to a lot of the events in the future. So it would be good to see if I can get like 20 minutes over Zoom or something like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the questions, the answers, anything else that maybe you would like to know or would like to have been said, and I'll see what I can do about sort of future interviews. But yeah, until then, catch you on the next one. But thank you for watching, and yeah, next time.